Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff White Fitness Solutions. Thanks for checking out this video. And I know inflation and the rising cost of goods is a really big concern for a lot of people these days. But you have to look at the reasons why things are the way they are and potential causes for them to get worse. And in this case, potential reasons for inflation to go even higher. And one such reason is because of BRICS. Now, I had another video on BRICS, the BRICS nations. They, again, are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And these countries created agreements where they will be working together and placing trades um, amongst each other. And these trades will be conducted not using US dollars. Now, two more countries have applied to join BRICS: Iran and Argentina. Now, this isn't talked about on mainstream news, but this is something you need to pay very close attention to because it can affect the US dollar and the US economy. A lot of people may say, well, so what? Who cares about BRICS or anyone who wants to join? Their bad news. Well, the problem is many of these countries export products that the rest of the world needs. And just looking at Argentina, for example, here are some of their exports: cereals, food industry waste, animal fats, oil seeds, meat, vehicles, oil, and precious metals, fish, and even dairy. Now, the problem is Argentina and other BRICS nations can demand payment for their products in currencies outside of the US dollar. Outside the US dollar. That would totally exclude the dollar. If that were to happen, then the demand for the US dollar would decrease, its purchasing power would decrease, which would cause more products to be even more expensive. This is the problem. If things get even more expensive than they are now, inflation will get even crazier and it will be harder and harder for people to buy the things that they want and need. This is why you must pay attention to BRICS. Okay, everyone, so I want you to take a really good look at some of the NATO countries as you see them here, and then take a look at the BRICS nations. Now, we all know that when Russia cut off Europe from a lot of their oil, it really put Europe in a tailspin, especially Germany. And also when they limited or restricted the shipment of fertilizer out of Ukraine. One thing about the BRICS nations is they export a lot of goods that many other countries use. So look at the NATO countries. What products do they export that the rest of the world really needs? If you really think about it and just break it down, a lot of NATO countries, what they do is they print dollars. They print fiat currency to buy products from BRICS nations. You can look at China as another example of this. China does a lot of exporting to the United States, and many of the products on US shelves are from China. So if the BRICS nations demand payment in their currencies or a currency outside of the US dollar, this could cause a lot of trouble for the NATO countries and cause prices to increase dramatically, which could be a major problem for many economies around the world. All right, guys, this is serious. And unfortunately, this isn't being talked about in mainstream media, but this is something you need to know so you're not caught off guard. You got to pay attention to what's going on around the world, and especially with these BRICS nations, because quite frankly, they don't like us, and whatever they can do to stick it to us is exactly what they will do. So you got to watch the world events. You got to be mentally prepared for more inflation. You got to expect prices to keep going up because it's not going back to the way it used to be. So that means you got to stock up on food and any other things that you need or even think you need, because eventually they can either get more expensive or they could just not be on the shelves. You got to plant a garden so you can make sure you have some food. You got to purchase assets like gold and silver. And last but certainly not least, You must learn how to create multiple streams of income and passive income. And if you can create something of your own, you can also demand to be paid in whatever currency you want to be paid in as well. So pay attention, people. This could get a lot uglier, and it's critical that we understand what's going on and be prepared for whatever comes our way.